Hey YouTube. Alright, this is going to be a VR to the For the Love of Cards hashtag started by Two Paths Tarot. But before we get to that, just a brief little life update / event. So I had queued up all the videos that I needed while I was going to be out of town for a week in Miami for work. That was fine. That happened. Then last week, basically over the weekend, because flights, like 1 in 10 flights, I'm gonna get sick. And I travel enough that it happens. So I got sick. And last Tuesday, it was like, all right, we're gonna skip a day. It's fine. I really wish there was a way in YouTube. I mean, you can do this if you have a ton of subscribers, but most people can't do like an update in text that's just like, hey, here's why I'm out for a bit. And it's one thing I don't like about YouTube as a platform. But skip a day, not a big deal. And I was going to try to get a video up for you guys on Friday. And so Thursday I did record like 21 minutes of the 75 questions tag. And I was kind of out of it, but it was an easy tag. And then like something got wonky with the audio, and I just could not make myself want to edit and sync that up. It's happened before with my camera, and like I can do it, but I have to go into iMovie, and it's a whole thing. As you know, I don't really edit videos. So, yeah, that's just anytime I disappear for a week or two, just assume that shit's happening. But I did want to come back and post something for you guys this week, and this, For the Love of Cards, has been going around. Disclaimer, I haven't actually watched. I have like a bunch of them in my to watch queue, but I haven't actually watched y'all's videos, so I look forward to doing that. But I'm gonna go ahead and do mine. I haven't been actually reading a lot for myself lately, and I'm trying to get the mojo back, or the desire to do it. Although I have sort of gotten like my astrology mojo back, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do some reading soon on questions that are like related to my transits. But I've been mostly not, but at this work conference I did actually read a lot for coworkers. I just like put out a random call like I sometimes do on our work Slack, just like, hey, I have tarot cards if anybody wants a reading. And as sometimes happens, you know, a couple people came over and then other people saw me doing it, and so I gave like almost 20 readings in a week. That was super fun. So yeah, that's the context for where I am right now. Let's go ahead and start. So number 1, what was your first deck? I've talked about it before. It's called the Starry Cauldron. Not recommended for a first deck. It's lovely if you like abstract painting, watercolor, like if you're a really intuitive reader, but I would say it's not super symbolic, or it's not super obviously symbolic, so I would not recommend it for a first deck. 2, favorite deck creator. This is hard because a lot of the decks I really like I only have one from that person, or only want one from that person. I'm gonna say Jessica Bott. I just recently got, yay, the botanical deck in the mail. I have the Amethyst Oracle, and I don't have the Idiosyncradeck. I know it's almost impossible to get, but I still hope. You gotta put hope in the universe. So yeah, I would say as a creator overall, Jessica Bott. Although strong honorable mention to, oh shoot, brain blank. Plant Ally cards, Textured Tarot, Tree Wisdom. That creator, whose name we're gonna find out, I can't remember. So we're gonna Google this because I feel bad about not knowing her name. It's Lisa something, I think. Lisa, what is your last name? McLaughlin. Sorry, Lisa McLaughlin. But yeah, I love her stuff too. She's another one that I have multiple decks from. Cool. Number 3? Yes, 3. Your favorite system, tarot or oracle or Lenormand, etc., etc. I would say tarot, because I do like having the structure, and I like knowing the structure, and I like the way you can develop a relationship with the tarot as a whole over time. And I like seeing different people's takes on it. But I would say an oracle is close second for me. And I like using them together. I'm trying to get into Lenormand, and I can't quite, and I haven't really tried other systems. For favorite system within tarot is definitely Rider-Waite-Smith. I have a couple of Thoth decks. Again, I'd like to learn it. I have Crowley feelings, but I'm willing to set those aside to learn Thoth. But I'm not a big fan of keywords. And then Marseille, I guess I like some Pip decks, generally. But the, like, more traditional Marseille style cards just don't really speak to me. 5. Last deck you bought. This is hard because I'm not totally sure like what the last deck I made the decision to purchase and paid for was, but the last decks actually that came in the mail together. So excited because all y'all been talking about this one on YouTube, and I was so jealous and so like, I want my deck. But I got both. I got the bundle. So it's the Light Seers and the Muse Tarot from Chris Ann. I know a lot of people have been really super excited about these. I am thrilled and really excited. This one is more obviously like my kind of deck. Absolutely gonna love it. This one is a collage deck, and I go back and forth on collage decks, but I'm interested to work with it. I'm gonna be open to it and just see what it brings up for me. 6. Favorite deck right now, and actually 7, the favorite deck of all time. I'm gonna pick the same deck for those two. I'm going to pick the Numinous. I've talked about the Numinous a lot on this channel. It really is like just, it's hard to say favorite, but it's just the deck I keep coming back to, the deck that's like clearly a soul deck for me, clearly works in a lot of situations. And during that work conference I was talking about, I was reading with that, which is why it's also the most recent, because you know, I was able to jump back in with it. I don't always want to read for others, but I really enjoyed reading for others with this one. And it's a nice exchange because people love the Numinous so much. They see the art, they get really excited. They have, you know, commentary on the imagery itself, and so that was really cool. So I'll say the Numinous for both of those. 8, deck you would love to own. You've heard me say this 9 million times. The Slow Holler. It's the Slow Holler. It's always going to be the Slow Holler until I have it. I want to get my hot little hands on that. If you hear of a reasonable deal, and like, I'd pay a few $100s for it. I'm not quite in the like 500 range, but like 2 to 3. So if you see a deal, please let me know. Or if you have it, I'm willing to part with it. Please let me know. You know, it's really hard to come by. Or actually, if you hear of a copy of the collective in that range, I know somebody who would be willing to give me their Slow Holler if they get a collective. So either of those decks, if you hear about them in the like $200-$300 range, hit me up. Because I really want the Slow Holler. All right, 9. A deck you have but struggle with. I think. So there are a couple of decks that just aren't that I'm just gonna let go, and I just haven't listed them yet. The Pastel Magic, Spirit Within, and well, probably the Spirit Within, and probably the El Goliath. But in terms of ones that like I'm keeping and I struggle with, it's not so much struggle, but I do have a few decks that I feel like I really need to study their guidebooks to get to know and learn them, and so I haven't really been reading with them until I do that. And I plan to do a lot of that deep study when I take a sabbatical towards the end of this year, so I'm really excited about that. So some of the ones that come to mind are, oh shoot, what is it called? Wild Messengers is one. Just in general, animal decks, I feel like I need to really read why they picked what animal for what. And Dust to Onyx, I have read with some, but I really feel like I need to read that book to be in it. I think there's a couple of more. So I would say those are the ones I struggle to read without the guidebook. Okay, finally, number 10. If you could have a deck tailor-made for you, ooh, what would it be or look like? God, that's so hard because, like, I do, like, some of the decks feel like they're tailor-made for me, you know? I mean, I guess the obvious you can kind of see in my background. I really like pink and orange. I don't know, though, that I would want a pink and orange deck. but I do like decks that utilize hot pink. I think it would be an oracle deck. I think it would be fairly sassy. In fact, it might have a whole lot of hot pink, but be very like in your face, kind of. Like similar to the one that I'm working on and may or may never actually do anything with. Working on is like very slowly, which is called the Femme Power Oracle. You know, anything that's theme is. So I guess I'll say I'm working on something that's queer femme. I would love a deck. I think a deck tailor-made for me might actually be like a non-binary. I don't know how you do it, but like a non-binary oracle deck, or just like an oracle deck from a non-binary queer perspective, that kind of yells at you sometimes and is hot pink. That's what I don't know. That's hard to come up with on the fly. So anyway, that's the 10 questions. Thanks to two paths. It's really hard to say. Paths Tarot for doing this. If you want to do it, check out the hashtag for the love of cards, and we'll see you next time.